You're watching Rogers Friday Night Blue Jays baseball, presented by McCain. The roof is open at Rogers Center for the second game of 4 between two teams that now have identical records, 39 and 42. Nathan Eovaldi and the former Ranger Patrick Corbin. He was with Texas just last year. Wyatt Langford hit one of those home runs last night for the Texas Rangers. Josh Young, who you just saw in the 2 spot. There's Langford, who is leading off tonight. He is one of a number of Rangers hitters who are hitting very well right now. Young, who you just saw not in the lineup last night, in there tonight. Jake Berger homered tonight as well. More right-handed bats in there tonight because the Blue Jays have a lefty on the mound.
36-year-old left-hander Patrick Corbin making his 15th start of the season. He made 30 starts last year for these Texas Rangers, pitched in 31 ball games. Last time out for Corbin, 3 runs in just 3 2/3 innings at Wrigley Field against the Cubs. He allowed a 3-run homer in the second. After back-to-back walks in the 4th inning, John Schneider was forced to go to the bullpen. It took him 100 pitches to get through that. 3 straight starts now that he has not completed 4 innings. Blue Jays need more from that, more from the left-hander against his former team tonight. Defensively behind Corbin, Jesus Sanchez gets the start in left field. Dalton Varsho back in action. He got a day off yesterday, not just because of the lefty starter. He hits lefties very well, but just needed a little breather after coming back from the injured list. Nathan Lucas in right. Okamoto Jimenez on the left side. Clement Guerrero Jr. on the right side. And Brandon Valenzuela back in there behind the plate tonight to catch Corbin.
And there is Langford, who hit that big 3-run home run in the 3rd inning last night. That was the inning that really got Kevin Gausman. A couple of home runs, a 3-run shot, and a 2-run shot. He's got 6 home runs in his last 11 games. And generally, the Rangers have been struggling offensively at about the same level the Blue Jays have. So they welcome that power. Jim Wolf is the home plate umpire tonight. And this ball game is underway with a called strike over the outside corner, 0-1. After Langford, Young, and then Brandon Nimmo. And a bouncing ball through the right side for a leadoff base hit.
Boy, that is just contact at its finest right there. Langford not trying to do too much with that pitch, just punching it through the wide open right side.
So not hard contact, but it is a base hit. A leadoff man aboard. And now here is Young, who did not appear in last night's game. Their 1st-round pick back in 2019. Runner going. Throw down by Valenzuela. The tag. Not in time. A stolen base for Langford. 6 for 6. Texas does not run much, but running early here tonight.
Well, Wyatt Langford runs well, and you'll take a shot against Corbin. It's been a bit of an issue at times this year. That delivery can be very slow and deliberate. It's a big leg kick. It's a slow, deliberate delivery, and he had plenty of time to get in there safely.
And it's 1-0 on Young, 3rd in the American League with a .296 batting average, 1 spot ahead of Ernie Clement. That'll catch the corner, and it's 1-1. Very good numbers for Young on the season. And it hit him. A cutter runs inside and just grazes Young. And it'll be runners at 1st and 2nd with nobody out.
That little cutter running in, and it sounded like it grazed his elbow guard. Well, back elbow.
Back elbow.
Just nicked the back elbow.
So 1st and 2nd, nobody out, and Corbin in a bit of a jam right out of the chute here. Here is Brandon Nimmo, the right fielder. These guys know each other very well. Nimmo many years with the Mets. Corbin many years with the Nationals. And solid numbers for Nimmo against Corbin. A .289 average, 13 for 45. That's a lot of experience against a pitcher.
Young does not run as well as Langford, so if Valenzuela going out to put the sign on, they may throw backdoor to second base if they try anything. Can't see it with Nimmo at the plate.
1-0. Swung on and missed. 1-1. Another hot hitter. Langford's hot. Nimmo's hot. Berger's hot. Jake Berger on deck right now. A look back by Corbin. And the 1-1 is ball 2. That one missing just low.
Slider has been a good pitch for Corbin against left-handed hitters, and he is in a bit of a pickle here against a tough lefty.
The fastball is fouled off, and it's 2-2. What do you think that little conversation was about?
Sometimes, usually if it's cued off the end of the bat, it could slice the leather on the baseball a little bit. I'm not sure a foul tip like that would do it, but it may have been scuffed enough that they wanted to replace it.
Corbin looking for his first out of the night. The Rangers threatening here in the first. And this one is hooked down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Langford is in to score. Young is going to be held. It's a double for Nimmo. And for the 5th consecutive game, the Blue Jays give up a run in the first inning. Texas leads early.
And there was that said slider, not a bad pitch at all, down and away to Nimmo, but you said it, his numbers are very good against Pack.
And now it's 2nd and 3rd, and still nobody out here for Jake Berger, who hit a 2-run home run in last night's game, his 14th. He is the team leader in home runs and RBIs. Even with the bag on the corners, backed up the middle. And now you're just trying to stay out of the big inning if you're the Blue Jays. A base hit, and all of a sudden it's maybe 3-0. That is low, and he's fallen behind 2-0. Corbin had some very good starts early on this season, kept the Blue Jays in a lot of games. Often went 5-6 innings, gave up 1 or 2 runs, but as you mentioned, Joe, the last 3 it has been a different story. A total of 10 1/3 in 3 starts, not getting through 4 innings in any of them, and allowing 10 earned runs in those 10 1/3 innings.
And you go lefty-lefty against a guy like Nimmo, a guy that has had success against you. The only thing you might want to do is at some point change it up. Everything was away. And anytime good hitters are going up against you, you got to change it up at some point. But Nimmo was all over it.
Two balls and a strike on Berger. And it's fouled back, 2-2. Berger hitting .370 over his last 16 games. Boy, for a team that has struggled to score this year, they got a bunch of guys hitting pretty well right now.
They didn't look last night like a team that was struggling to hit the ball over the fence. Jake Berger got a splitter from Kevin Gausman up over the middle of the plate.
Ball 3 and a full count now on Berger. Justin Foscue, who is the DH tonight, waiting in the on-deck circle. Corbin still looking for his first out of the game. The 3-2 pitch, and he got him. Got him to swing through a high fastball for out number 1.
Well, that will help, and he certainly needed that. John Schneider talked about getting deep in counts too much. A little more efficient. He got the fastball by him up high.
Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Get 25% off any footlong on game days. Order in the Subway app using the code STRIKEOUT. So 1 out, and here's Foscue hitting .256, 4 home runs as Corbin jumps out in front 0-1.
The issue here, Dan, is Justin Foscue has hammered left-handed pitching. That is exactly why he is in the lineup tonight. So very dangerous. You do have the open base with Duran on deck.
in his third year in the big leagues, although never really as a full-time guy. Another former first-round pick who has climbed back in 2020. There are the numbers. You can be a pretty important guy as a right-handed batter, even if you're not an everyday guy, if you can hammer lefties.
Your spot starting and you get those pinch hits, middle of the game, later in the game, if they bring in a lefty from the pen.
Corbin out in front 0-2. Tried the high fastball again, but much too high to get a chase here as Valenzuela bluffs a throw down to third. Early stress, no doubt, here for Pete Walker in that third base dugout. Corbin trying to minimize the damage. The 1-2 pitch. And that changeup or slider, maybe that was a slider that just didn't slide very much. It almost turned over like a changeup.
It looked like a real backup slider. Brandon did a good job going to his right. You have to actually get out there and almost watch him turn his body back toward the middle to try to keep that ball in front of the plate. Especially when a pitch doesn't do what you're anticipating it doing.
So now it's 2-2. That's high, and now it's full after Corbin had gotten out in front 0-2.
And this is exactly what John was talking about today, getting a little bit more efficient. Threw 100 pitches in that last start in Chicago to get through just 3 2/3. You have to pitch to contact. You're not a big strikeout pitcher.
Big pitch coming here, and it's grounded foul, so they'll do it again. Boy, 5 games in a row in which the opposing team has scored a run in the first inning. Now in all 5, including tonight, and it's to this point, it has only been 1 run, but 5 games in a row on this homestand where the Blue Jays have come up in the bottom of the first trailing. 3-2 is lined into left. That's a base hit. In to score is Young. Nimmo held at third. It's 2-0.
Well, this is a call that probably comes from the dugout, but watch the Blue Jays infielders before Patrick Corbin delivers this pitch. They're playing back in the middle. He's coming set. Clement and Jimenez both come in. Where's the line drive go? Right over his head. So with 2 strikes like that, they may have had an inkling that he's going to hit something, maybe be out front, a weak ground ball. Let's try to cut down that run. But there he is, Justin Foscue against left-handed pitching.
So 2 runs in, first and third, just 1 out. And here's Ezekiel Duran, who's hit short tonight. Corey Seager not in the lineup. A couple of reasons. One, a lefty on the mound, and Skip Schumacher, the manager of the Rangers, told us yesterday Seager just coming off the concussion IL. They're not going to play him too often early. He said it could be spring training. 1 on, 1 off, maybe 2. The 0-1. And that's through the right side. Another base hit. Nimmo is in. Foscue to second. It is 3-0.
That was a cutter that just came right back to the middle of the plate, and this one's not starting right for Pete Walker and John Schneider. What's the setup from Valenzuela? You're trying to get this cutter in, and he just left it right out over the middle at 88. That is good hitting for any big league hitter.
Brandon Valenzuela is on his way to the mound. We'll see. I don't know if Pete Walker has made a phone call. They've got a rested bullpen. Simeon Woods Richardson soaked up the 3 innings after Kevin Gausman last night and then got DFA'd today. Adam Macko is back with the Blue Jays. But again, you just hate to go to your pen this early, but you also don't want to fall further behind in this game.
Yeah, when we heard John Schneider say the pen should be back today, all set, well, that's for today and tomorrow, and you're trying to plan accordingly. The last thing you want is to have to use everybody here tonight. That's a helpless feeling in the dugout when your starters giving up runs early.
So it's early in this one, of course, but 4th consecutive start for Patrick Corbin, where it has really been a struggle for him. Here's Kyle Higashioka, who takes outside, ball 1. There was a stretch a few weeks ago, maybe back into May, where the starting pitching was really one of the biggest strengths on this team. But it has been a much bumpier ride for the group as a whole the last few times through. Hit hard but foul. Some very good starts, but a lot of inconsistency in the rotation.
Yeah, that's the issue right now. And anytime you have inconsistency in a rotation, that's an immediate impact on what your bullpen's doing. And when you talk about bullpen, you're mainly talking about your leverage guys. And the last thing you want them to be doing is getting overworked. And have they ever been doing that in the first half of the season?
Keep in mind, again, Patrick Corbin was a Texas Ranger last year. He made 30 starts with the Rangers at a 4.40 ERA. So they know him well. You can see Higashioka, another guy who hits lefties well. Bounced in 2-2. I mean, he's about to throw his 30th pitch. Like never mind the damage. There's also a number at some point where you say, how many pitches can they let him throw in one inning? And obviously they're well aware of that down there, but it may not be long until somebody gets up, unless he comes up with a double play ball at somebody. And another full count.
And this is the story of what we've seen from Patrick Corbin. The struggles have just continued. Get ahead, let the hitter get right back in the count.
First and second, one out. 3-2 is swung on and missed. He gets Higashioka to chase a slider inside for out number 2.
This one biting down and in on the right-handed hitter, swinging just underneath it.
So now the 8th Ranger to come to the plate is left fielder Alejandro Osuna, a .260 hitter on the season, went 1 for 4 last night. A couple of left-handed bats now at the bottom of the order for Texas. Osuna in the 8th spot, Nicky Lopez on deck in the 9th spot. This one will find the seats left side. Osuna, 23 years of age, from Mexico, broken last year with the Rangers, played in 63 games, pitches .212. He's up to .260 now in his 2nd season. Nathan Eovaldi will head to the mound with at least a 3-run advantage as he game plans with Higashioka. Corbin's got it and spins and gets it to Guerrero in time, but not before the Rangers get 3 in the top of the 1st. Down 3 as they come up here in the bottom of the 1st. George Springer will DH and lead it off as we show you John Schneider's lineup tonight, and it includes the guy we talked about off the top of the show, Kazuo Okamoto. The numbers on the home stand are great. The numbers in June are great. He is doing a lot for this offense right now. Dalton Varsho is back in there tonight. Jesus Sanchez is back in. Andres Jimenez is back in, and they will face a guy, Joe, who has been doing this a long time in Nathan Eovaldi.
He's 36 years old in his 15th big league season. Eovaldi's been a 2-time All-Star. He has won 2 World Series, one with the Red Sox in 18, with these Rangers back in 2023. The ERA up at 4.24 in his 15 starts this season, but it's a lot of splitters now. He's not using the four-seam fastball as much, both righties and lefties. We'll see a lot of that weapon from Eovaldi tonight.
George Springer to lead it off. George had a real hot stretch for about 8-9 days, but has cooled off the last few. Over his last 9 right now as this game begins, and he'll take a fastball in for a strike. It's 0-1. After Springer, Lucas and Guerrero, the usual top 3 with a righty on the mound. Down and away, a ball and a strike. That was the first of many splitters you will see from Eovaldi tonight. The only starting pitcher in the American League who throws splitters more often than Eovaldi is Kevin Gausman, as Pete Walker and Patrick Corbin have a look at what happened in the top of the first. 2-1 now on Springer. Gausman gave up 1 in the first, 5 in the third last night, then did throw 3 more scoreless innings. So did a solid for the bullpen. Simeon Woods Richardson did the rest, but again he was DFA'd today with Adam Macko being called back up to the big leagues. Springer tops one to third. Young will make the play.
Defensively for Skip Schumacher's club and the Rangers, Alejandro Osuna is in left field. Wyatt Langford in center. Brandon Nimmo, he's in right. He came over in the Marcus Semien trade from the Mets. Young and Duran on the left side. Lopez and Berger on the right side. And the veteran backstop, Kyle Higashioka, going back-to-back nights for the Rangers.
So here's Nathan Lucas hitting .297. A curveball drops in for a strike. Lucas went 0 for 2 with a walk last night, starting against the lefty Mackenzie Gore, hitting down to the 6th spot last night, back up in the familiar 2 spot against a righty tonight.
Be a lot of splitters, cutters, and curveballs to the left-handers. That's a cutter. See that cutting inside, up and in on the left-handed hitter. The righties, he'll spread it out a little bit more. He'll use the four-seamer and he'll run a sinker in on the righties, but also that cutter, splitter, curveball combination. So he's got a lot of weapons, but just not throwing the fastball as much.
Has always had a lot of pitches. Always a 5-6 pitch guy. Grounded up the middle, but right there is Ezekiel Duran, and a couple of ground ball outs here to begin the bottom of the first. And that'll bring up Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for the first time tonight. It was an 0 for Vladdy last night. He has had a lot of success in his career against Eovaldi. Don't know if that'll help him here tonight. We will see. But he is 12 for 27, a .444 average with 2 doubles and 2 homers against Eovaldi.
I think if you are Blue Jays hitters tonight, right or left-handed, you've got to make the splitter be up. We saw Nathan Lucas ground out on that splitter down in the zone. That's what he wants you to do. When you're looking up, you can still hit his fastball like that one right there. That's more in that middle of the zone.
Guerrero took it for a called strike, and now swings at this one, hits it to right center. Langford is there to make the catch, and Eovaldi sets down the Blue Jays in order in the bottom of the first. Fans, the next City Connect Friday comes your way July 17th as the Blue Jays host the White Sox in their first game out of the All-Star break. Visit BlueJays.com/tickets today. The Blue Jays will finish up this homestand 2 more after tonight with Texas. Then Bo Bichette and the Mets come to town, including a Canada Day game, and then the Blue Jays head west, Seattle, San Francisco, San Diego, to take them into the All-Star break. And a slider in for a strike. 0-1 on Nicky Lopez, the second baseman and number 9 hitter in the Rangers lineup tonight. He went 2 for 4 in last night's game. Ground ball to short. Right at Jimenez, 1 down.
That's how the slider's supposed to work, left on left. Weak ground ball, weak contact, quick resolution to an at-bat.
As you said, not a big strikeout guy, so you'd love to see the early weak contact at bats as much as you can. He got some weak contact off the bat of Wyatt Langford, but it just bounced seemingly harmlessly to the right side of the infield, but bounced through. And now look at this one. That's a fair ball. And he's going to try for second. Guerrero's throw, the tag. Got him. Guerrero fired it to Jimenez. Everybody's okay, and they get the out at second. And Jimenez is going to need a moment, Joe, to put himself back together, but he does appear to be all right.
Oh, what a play by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Watch how Vladdy lines up his feet right here. He knows exactly what he's going to do. It's almost like an outfielder setting your body up into a position to field the ball and just come up and throw. And then what a tag by Jimenez. And then he wore most of it as the base runner landed basically on top of him.
So 2 down. That'll go as a base hit for Langford, and then out trying to advance 3-6. This is Guerrero after the throw. Now he's smiling, but he is kind of holding his right side as he walks back to his position. So something to keep an eye on.
And that's his side that he was doing in the batter's box, I think, in recent days.
It felt like kind of reaching more around to his back then.
Yeah.
Don't know if this is related, and again, don't know exactly what he's feeling, but just something to monitor going forward here tonight. Two down and the base is empty. The 2-1 to Josh Young. He'll take a called strike, 2-2. Young was hit by a pitch and came around to score in the 3-run first. High fastball fouled back.
Good pitch right there, even just to change that eye level. He was down with a few of his earlier pitches. Go up high and now you go back down. Cutter was a very dangerous pitch for Patrick Corbin when he first came to the Blue Jays. Remember, he was trying to come in on right-handers, leaving the middle. Got a lot of damage. He went away from that pitch, but we're seeing him try it again tonight. That one not quite in far enough again.
Strike 3 called, says Jim Wolf. Says that slider got the bottom of the zone. No challenge coming. And Corbin rings up Josh Young for his 3rd strikeout of the night. Nothing across for the Rangers, top 2.
Guerrero Jr. lined out to right center in his first at bat, and last night John Schneider said even though the results weren't there, he is seeing some positive signs that Guerrero is slowly coming out of this prolonged slump of his, including that tough at bat in the bottom of the 9th inning. Guerrero battled an 8-11 pitch at bat in the bottom of the 9th against lefty Jacob Latz. He fouled off 5 pitches in the at bat before he struck out. Intensity and engagement he saw is what he's looking for in Guerrero every single night. Guerrero could have easily rolled over and thought, okay, we're going to lose this game, but he just did not quit. Springer told me he expects to see better results soon, given the work Guerrero has put in every single night behind closed doors. Dan.
Hazel, thank you. We go bottom 2, 3-0. Everybody hoping that the day will come very soon where he starts to look more like himself. He needs it. The team desperately needs it as well. Here's a guy. The Blue Jays are getting the best version of Kazuma Okamoto right now. Although, as I say that, Joe, maybe we don't know. He's only 2.5 months into his big league career. You know, maybe there's even another level, another tick up. But boy, 18 home runs and 51 RBIs at the midway point of the season. Evaldi calling his own pitch on PitchCom. 1-2 as he drops another curve in on Okamoto. Everybody around the league very well aware of Okamoto's numbers against fastballs.
Yeah, I think he's going to see more breaking pitches as we move ahead, and against Evaldi tonight, some splitters, a pitch that gives him a lot of trouble as well. He has hammered fastballs.
But he gets them up high with a cut fastball to strike him out.
He's got a sinking fastball that'll run into righties. He's got a cutter that'll cut away from them, and then the 4-seamer straight up. So 3 different looks of fastballs to go with his other secondary pitches. So many pitchers in the game now feature these 3 different types of fastballs, and hitters around the league have trouble with that. But Okamoto's hammered the straight ones.
Eovaldi calling his own pitch again on the first offering to Dalton Varsho. Varsho was not in the lineup last night. He was okay. Lucas was the one left-handed bat in there against a lefty. Remember, Varsho crashed hard into the center field wall on the Joey Loperfido triple back on Wednesday. But John Schneider said no real lasting after effects there. Said it's more just that he's kind of generally sore, having recently come off the IL. And we do see every now and again with that sort of a situation, the Blue Jays do give you a day here, a day there when you've been recently on the IL.
And he'd be the left-handed bat you want in there against lefties because he's handled them very well.
Yeah, by far the best hitter against lefties as a left-handed batter they have on this team. Interesting matchup, a guy who throws a ton of splitters. And Varsho likes hitting splitters and changeups down, as you see Addison Barger is with the team today. He went through a workout, checked in with the medical staff, got reacquainted with his buddies. A 4-pitch walk. And the word from John Schneider is after he goes through and now has gone through the workout today, then the next steps will be considered. I guess best case scenario where he's going out on a rehab assignment. We did not see him make any throws on the field, although Barger and Schneider have both said if there's an issue, it's more hitting than throwing with that elbow. We were told that he hit in the cage underneath. He did not hit on the field. Ernie Clement, first pitch swinging, and lifts a fly ball right center field. They almost collide. Nimmo, the right fielder, makes the catch, and Nimmo and Langford very narrowly avoiding a collision.
That is a scary sight as these two outfielders get very close to one another. And you can see Nimmo, looks like the center fielder was taking charge, but one of those situations again where you can't hear each other. You're probably both calling it. And good thing they avoided the collision.
Langford kind of peeled off just at the last moment. That could have been a bad one. 2 down, and here's Jesus Sanchez getting the start in left tonight. Batting in the 7th spot. Sanchez did not start last night's game. He came on as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning and struck out. Varsho at first, 2 down. Blue Jays down 3-0. So back to Barger. We still don't know exactly what's next. It's gone on a lot longer than I think we thought it would go on when the original injury happened. It just kind of getting pushed back. But obviously you want to make sure that right elbow is sound and healthy. And maybe post-game, if not pre-game tomorrow, we'll get the next step for Addison Barger.
And the whole point is for him to be here in front of the eyes of the staff here so they can get in the cage, do their drills, take him through the routine. So hopefully it's good news. They could certainly use that left-handed bat in the lineup right now. I know there are a lot of them, but that's one that you want.
Yep. A strike, and it's 3-1 on Sanchez. I get the feeling, I think Jim Wolf says strike before he raises that right arm. He is rather deliberate making the call, but I think down in the field they know they can hear it right away.
Jim Wolf has not missed a day in the gym.
No. Slashed foul, 3-2 on Sanchez.
That splitter down is a pitch that Sanchez, I think, could handle if he gets one from Eovaldi. Sanchez will sink into his legs a little bit. I think he handles the ball down much better.
So there goes Varsho, and the 3-2 is taken for ball 4.
Catcher's challenging the ball call.
But Kyle Higashioka is challenging. This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers, and it is strike 3. So a successful challenge for the Rangers and the end of the inning for the Blue Jays. Well, July baseball is right around the corner, and the outfield district is the perfect place to watch a game under the sun. and enjoy your favorite general admission spots at the ballpark, all with one ticket. Visit BlueJays.com/outfield district for tickets. With Joe Siddall and Hazel May, I'm Dan Schulman, top of the third. It is the Rangers 3 and the Blue Jays nothing. And while we have a moment in the bottom of the third, we're going to be joined here in the booth for a half inning by the Toronto Raptors first-round pick. Alan Graves, a 6'9" forward, is going to come in and talk some hoops with us, maybe a little baseball as well, throughout the first pitch before the game tonight.
Well, if he's not a Blue Jays fan, we're going to turn him in.
We're going to fix that. He's from Louisiana, but played college ball at Santa Clara in Northern California, so we'll have to see where his baseball loyalties lie. There's only one correct answer if he's sitting up here with us tonight.
Absolutely.
So. Brandon Nimmo hooked a ball into the right field corner for an RBI double in the first. The first run of the ball game. The Rangers would add on 2 more.
And I like the fact that Corbin started him out with that sinker in there just to show him something inside, knowing full well he's probably going to want to get him out away with a slider again.
Two and 1 the count, and a swing and a miss at a slider. 2-2. After Nimmo, it'll be Jake Burger, Justin Foscue. This is the 3-4-5 part of the Rangers lineup. Both of these teams at 39 and 42. There are 4 teams in a virtual tie for the last wild card spot in the American League. The appeal, no swing. So Valenzuela's got to go get the baseball, because if they appeal down to third and Roberto Ortiz says he swung, he's got to fire that down to first.
Well, Brandon's got to get that glove in the ground and keep it down there. Watch it pop up, and you leave that 5-hole open. It went right underneath his glove. Anytime you're going down to block a secondary pitch like that, jam that glove into the dirt to block the 5-hole up.
Fouled back, still 3-2. So as mentioned, 4 teams in a virtual tie. Houston is 40 and 43. The A's, the Rangers, and the Blue Jays are all 39 and 42. You've got 4 teams, 3 games under 500, and somewhat miraculously in a tie for the third and final wild card spot. Now there's half a season to go, obviously, but at some point 1 or 2 of these teams, or maybe the ones just behind them, the Orioles, the Twins, are going to separate themselves and go on a little bit of a run.
Well, because there's half a season left, the whole league's still in it.
And strike 3 called to get him for out number 1.
Stayed away, but went with the cutter this time. A little bit of a different look than the slider that he was throwing. And just freezes Nimmo on the outside edge.
4th strikeout for Corbin through 2 1/3, including a strikeout of Jake Burger in the first. Swing and a miss. Another slider, a pitch that Corbin is using a lot here tonight.
Well, he played a little catch up in the second inning after 34 pitches in the first inning. Very efficient in that second, and that's how you get that pitch count back in order. Play a little catch up, pound the zone.
Healthy cut right there as he fouls it back 1-2. Burger's got previous time with the White Sox and the Marlins. Hit 34 home runs 3 years ago. Split between the White Sox and the Marlins that year. 29 home runs 2 years ago with the Marlins. This guy's got pop. I feel like you could drop Jake Burger, the whole thing, the numbers, the look, the vibe, like into the 1970s or 1980s, and he would fit in perfectly. He looked like he belonged there.
He's definitely got some pop in that bat.
Yeah.
That's why those guys are always dangerous when they come to the plate. Certainly some swing and miss for sure too, and that goes hand in hand a lot of times with power type hitters.
Yeah, doesn't walk very much. He is up there looking to do damage. Takes it low, 2-2. So Nathan Eovaldi through 2 innings has given up just a walk to Dalton Varsho. That's it. Off the end of the bat.
That's a really good spot that time by Corbin, staying out there off the outer edge. Big guy like that, he loves that ball middle in.
Another thing we're seeing tonight is the ability to get to 2 strike counts, but then, and he has put some away. He's got 4 strikeouts, but it takes a while. The pitch count climbs. Here's number 60 and another foul off.
It's almost as though if you're a strikeout pitcher, of course, if you're Dylan Cease, you're going after guys and you're trying to blow them away. If you're more of a contact type pitcher, you want to do this, and he's doing it, but it's the foul balls. You'd rather guys just put the ball in play and let your defense work.
Bounced in, and it's full. A 9-pitch at bat already with Foscue waiting on deck. Him. And you can see a little bit of frustration there from Corbin through 10 pitches, but it winds up walking Berger. So 1 on 1 out, and here's Foscue, who, as Joe told you, has great numbers against lefties this year. He had an RBI single to left in the first. Ball 1. And this start, Joe, feels like his recent starts. It's he's really having to labor.
Yeah. It's hard work. Looked like he was getting in a little bit of a groove after that second inning and into the Nimmo strikeout here in the third. That was a long plate appearance by Berger, and that's where it seems to be now. He's really fighting it again.
Behind 2-0. And a called strike, 2-1.
He's trying to use all of his pitches, and while that can be a good thing, the reason for that too is because nothing's really that dominating to put people away. So you're trying to just keep mixing and matching, changing speeds.
This one hit to deep left field, and it is going to carry on out of here. A 2-run home run for Foscue, and that's going to make it 5-0 Rangers.
The lefty killer Justin Foscue gets this slider down in the zone, and this was a no-doubter. I was watching him, the batter, and he just watched it. Short, quick stroke to the baseball. Not even finishing. Short, tight turn.
And a big lead in the early going for the Rangers for the second night in a row. As Ezekiel Duran comes up, he had an RBI single to right in the first. How does the ball go that far when he doesn't even fully finish?
It's a tight turn. I think when you see those, you'll see Paul Goldschmidt is, I think, the poster boy for it. If you imagine his swing right now, the way he turns so tight, you can develop that bat speed. A baseball swing doesn't have to. When you see the longer swings, that gets, I call it armsy or handsy. They get a little bit too long with the arms and hands. A good tight swing is from that shoulder turn, and that's a little bit what we were talking about Vladdy over the last number of weeks. It's more of that shoulder turn to get to that good fastball inside instead of being more slappy with your hands. But think of watching his shoulders just turn and the barrel's just almost along for the ride. Maybe he called it.
1-2 on Duran, and that's taken low, ball 2. Still no activity out of the Blue Jays bullpen. 1 out here in the third. 5-0 Rangers. Remember, they don't have a true long man in the bullpen right now after Woods Richardson was DFA'd, and he would have been able to pitch tonight anyways, having gone 3 last night as Duran grounds out. So everybody who's in the pen, all 8 of them, theoretically available tonight, but none of them are guys individually who can go more than 2 innings in a game. And again, and this is where they get them, they've been in this spot a lot. They're trying to balance tonight versus tomorrow. You don't want to burn through 5 guys and then not have some of the guys you might want in a different kind of ball game tomorrow.
They're playing without a long man. They just have a lot of men, and they might have to use a lot of them.
They called up Adam Macko to take the place of Woods Richardson, wanting the second lefty. Macko kind of a 3 to maybe 6 out guy who did very well in 12 appearances before he was sent down. Just got caught in a numbers game, an options game, but he is back. But again, no real long man in the bullpen right now. Ideally, you'd like 2 lefties and a long man, but at times this year the choice to make it all work in the bullpen has been one or the other.
Yeah, that would be ideal, and it'll also be ideal when your starters are going 6 innings.
That's
just there are a lot of things not happening, and it's very frustrating for a manager and a pitching coach because you're just dealing with what you have and what's happening in front of you.
Spencer Miles has been shortened up recently, starting to pitch in higher leverage, so I don't think he's no longer an option to go 3 to 4 innings. He's more maybe 2 innings, I would say.
Sure. And anytime we have pitching discussions like we did last night, it also goes back to the offense.
Fly ball to right. And that'll be that, but the Rangers get 2 more. They lead 5-0. We will visit with the first round draft pick of the Toronto Raptors, Alan Graves, when we come back. Well, always an exciting moment for teams, for fans, and more than anything, for the players themselves. You are looking at Alan Graves out of Santa Clara University, getting drafted with the 19th overall pick. You can see the emotion with family there. Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, and the newest member of your Toronto Raptors is in the booth with us here tonight at Rogers Center, having survived throwing out the first pitch before the ball game tonight. Louis Varlin did the honors. Welcome. It's good to meet you. Welcome to Toronto.
Oh yeah, great to meet y'all too, and I'm very blessed to be here.
What have the last few days been like for you?
It's been crazy, you know, just getting out here, getting to know the city. Really love Toronto. They've made me feel like home already. All the fans and everybody. It's been an amazing experience.
You'll get used to that. A lot of people are going to make it feel like home for you. Let's give you a little background on Alan. He's from Louisiana. Played for Santa Clara in the West Coast Conference, redshirt freshman year, West Coast Conference 6th man of the year, freshman of the year, and first team all WCC. How am I doing so far?
Doing pretty good.
You just wait. And one thing I want to ask you about, you played Gonzaga 3 times in the WCC. You had 18-9 against them in the first game. You played Kentucky in the NCAA tournament, a very close game, by the way. Had 17.7 rebounds. How did those games against Gonzaga and Kentucky make you feel about your ability to compete at the highest level?
Definitely, you know, just competing against those guys. I'll, you know, just talk about Graham Ike, one of the, you know, he was a presence down there. Just being able to compete against him, I feel like he's one of the strongest human beings I've ever went against. But definitely loved our battles, and then just competing against that level of competition was definitely great, and I feel like I'm ready to compete at this next level.
Brandon Valenzuela leading off the bottom of the 3rd for the Blue Jays, down 5-0. Joe?
Is there something that you feel now after being drafted, when you get to the Raptors, what is it that you're going to have to do well to establish yourself as an impact player in the NBA?
Definitely, I say just being more of a presence on the defensive end, being able to switch, you know, guarding multiple positions, getting my foot speed right, getting everything right, and then just being able to knock down shots, being able to hit the 3 ball and just make sure that my shooting is good, being consistent with that, and keeping the same feel on offense, not turning the ball over, but really just making the winning plays. I feel like that's what I pride myself on, is just being willing to do a little bit of everything, do the dirty work, do anything, just being willing to do anything that the team needs in order to win.
The Blue Jays lose a challenge there. Valenzuela asking for it, but it's called strike 2, so it's full. So you're 6'9", a versatile defender, rangy, can shoot the 3 ball, can switch. You sound like a very Raptors-y kind of player. Have you heard that leading into the draft or after the draft? Hey, you kind of fit the mold of what a Raptor is?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. You know, I had a workout here with Toronto.
Right.
You know, then also, you know, just know it's the big wing project, a lot of big wings. They, And I just really loved it because the developmental piece of it, I know that they're going to develop me into the player that I want to be. And just, you know, you can look at their pedigree of how they've done it, and it's just been amazing. And just really appreciate that they took a chance on me.
Have you met Scotty Barnes, RJ, CMB? Have you met any of these guys yet?
I haven't met them yet, but real soon. But I've gotten a lot of texts from them. So
good.
just been getting in contact with them. They're really, you know, they text me right after the draft and was just, you know, saying that how great of an accomplishment it was. Just take it in, take the moment in, and excited to get to work.
Okay, I read an article on sportsnet.ca by Michael Grange, and it talked about your high school days, and the word football arrived. And I said, I am going to ask Alan, multi-port sports star. You were a receiver.
I was quarterback and receiver.
Quarterback and receiver. So how do those skills translate playing other sports?
Definitely. I feel like as far as my game, just my hands on the defensive end, I feel like that came from playing football growing up. You know, Louisiana, you got to play football. You got to love it. But just, you know, the hands part of it, being able to catch every pass that came my way, and then quarterback, you're constantly catching the ball. So I feel like the hands piece of it and the hand-eye coordination, all that stuff kind of translated over to basketball.
He went to college on a football scholarship as a quarterback and then switched to baseball. So that's why he's all fired up about this. Raptor fans fired up as well. Did you play any baseball as a kid?
I played baseball 1 year. It was coach's pitch. And my dad you get 5 pitches, and he would pitch it, and I would never swing to the last one. He's throwing strikes every time I'm not swinging into the last one.
Wait, you're an on-base guy.
That's right. So it's been a while. If it was coach pitch, you were like, what, 7, 8 years old, something like
7
that?
or 8.
Okay. So nobody's got to worry about you being a 2-sport guy here professionally.
If they want to give me, you know, one of them contracts, I'll be that 2-sport. I'll be that 2-sport guy. I go out there and make a play.
Have you before the last couple of days? Well, you said you worked out for the team. Was that here in Toronto?
That was in Toronto.
Okay, so you'd been here before. Have you had a chance to get out and learn the city at all the last couple of days?
Really, like this area, just walking around this area a little bit. Even when I was here on my visit, I had my little meta glasses on. I was walking around recording the city, just showing it to my family, and just showing them how beautiful it is. I mean, you got literally everything. You got the water right there. You got high rises, the CN Tower, everything. It's crazy how beautiful the city is.
A swing and a miss by Andres Jimenez for the second out, and the third strikeout of the night for Nathan Eovaldi. Well, we wish you all the best. It's great to meet you. Have you met Jaden Bradley, the second round?
I have. We're here together.
Oh, good.
Yes, sir.
Good player.
Amazing player.
Very good player. You're going to love him as much as you love this guy.
Oh, yeah.
All the best. We wish you the best here in Toronto.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Alan.
You good, Al. Pleasure.
Alan Graves, first-round pick of the Toronto Raptors this year. 2 down here in the bottom of the third, and the top of the order as George Springer will come up to see Nathan Eovaldi for the second time. Springer grounded out to third in the bottom of the first. It's a very engaging young man.
Absolutely.
Yep. Wish him all the best.
Well, it's a lot of fun to see these young players when they're drafted arrive in the city. Their first experience of the city, getting around a little bit, getting to a ball game, a lot of fun, and it'll be a lot of fun to watch Allen on the court.
And another ground ball, the play by Duran. And Nathan Eovaldi not having much trouble at all so far in this one. Fans get closer to Blue Jays history than ever before with hands-on history tours now at Rogers Center. Hold authenticated game-used artifacts in your hands like a baseball thrown by Roy Halladay in his last Blue Jays start. Visit BlueJays.com/tours for tickets. For the second night in a row, the Rangers with a sizable lead on the Blue Jays. It is 5-0 going to the top of the fourth inning. They got 3 in the first and then 2 more in the third on a home run by Justin Foscue. Bullpen is quiet as the top of the fourth begins. There has not been any activity in the Blue Jays bullpen at all tonight. You can see the pitch count, how high it is. This is very similar, as we mentioned, to some of Corbin's recent starts.
And I'm sure he's got the mindset right now that Kevin Gausman had last night. Stay out there for your 100 pitches and try to eat up as much as you can for this bullpen right now. It's not just about tonight, it's about tomorrow and the next day, and there's such a domino effect with your reliever usage.
Meanwhile, Nathan Eovaldi's kind of had it on cruise control so far. The only base runner for the Blue Jays, a 1-out walk to Varsho in the second. And he's needed only 39 pitches to get through 3. Corbin up over 80 right now. Another 3-2 count. And a 2-hopper to short. Nice big hop for Jimenez. He'll get Osuna by a step for out number 1. So now the number 9 hitter, Nicky Lopez, who grounded out in his 1 at bat tonight. Has to back away from that inside pitch, and it's ball 1. And it's popped up right side of the infield. Ernie Clement back into shallow right, 2 down.
Get ready for epic action on the big screen this summer with Supergirl, starring Millie Alcock and Jason Momoa. Now playing only in theaters.
A nice Friday night here, the roof open at Rogers Center. But a tough go for the Blue Jays so far, down 5-0. Top of the order coming up, Wyatt Langford, who is 2 for 2, has not hit the ball hard either time up, but has a couple of base hits. But when you're hot, and he is hot. Came in at .370 his last 13 games. And with 6 home runs in his last 11 games coming in for a guy who's only 24 years old. Down to third, and that'll carry him off the glove of Okamoto out into shallow left. Langford trying for second again, and this time he's safe. It was Langford who was thrown out by Guerrero, trying to stretch a single into a double back in the second, but this time he beats the throw.
Very similar play on the other side of the field this time, and hits that short wall beyond the third base bag and kicks out into left field. It's Jimenez, the shortstop, that comes to play this baseball. He made it a very close play. That's second base.
These are plays that before the renovations here at Rogers Center we never saw.
Right.
Because the wall did not jut out close to the foul line on either side like it does right now. We see it a lot at a park like Fenway.
Yep.
Down the left field line. And Jimenez is obviously this kind of a defender, but you've got to be very alert as the shortstop, or here on the right side of the infield as the second baseman, because where that wall juts out, it can carry him into shallow left or right, and then the infielder's got to go get it. Two 2-0 on Josh Young, and Corbin in there with a strike, 2-1. There are starts where even if things have been going well, John Schneider has not really let Corbin see the top of the order third time through. Maybe because they are down by a sizable margin, it's a little bit different, and they're just trying to get as many outs, as many pitches out of him. He's over 90 already, like it's near the end, probably just this inning, but nobody up in the pen, and Clearly, John Schneider just wants to try to get 12 outs out of him and then see what he'll do after that.
You get out here and you think maybe an efficient fourth, you could take him into the fifth, but it's looking less and less likely.
In there, 3-2. If it continues, Brandon Nimmo comes up. And that's strike 3 call to get him and retire the side. But we have a challenge. Josh Young is challenging. Unsuccessfully.
Call is confirmed. Texas has 1 challenge remaining.
So it is strike 3 called, and it's on to the bottom of the 4th. Well, here's a name that if you don't know it already, you will soon. This is Sean Keys, who between AA and AAA this year has already hit 21 home runs. He's got an OPS over 1,000. Earlier today, Keegan Matheson of MLB.com reported that Keys is coming to Toronto. A little bit later, Ben Nicholson-Smith, our guy at Sportsnet, reported that he will be active tomorrow. John Schneider obviously was asked about it today. As you look at the numbers in his last 10 games, I mean, the numbers are huge. And Schneider basically said, nothing's official. I can't really comment. I can tell you about Sean Keys, the player, but I can't comment on the possibility of a roster move. So we'll tell you about Sean Keys, the player. A 4th-round pick a couple of years ago out of Bucknell University. He is a third baseman. He is also playing a lot of first base. He's not a corner outfielder. He's not a second baseman. Third base, first base. Big guy, 6'1", 230. As Nathan Lucas pops one up left side, and Duran, the shortstop, will make the play. He'll take a walk. He is good enough, is the quote from John Schneider, defensively at both corners. But what he is more than anything is a guy who is really swinging the bat at an extremely high level. We don't know what the corresponding roster move will be, assuming this all comes to pass tomorrow. We don't know how long he's going to be here. We do know that this team needs more offense, and at AA and AAA this year, he has been providing a lot of offense.
Another left-handed bat, but I think you'll take it anywhere you can get it right now if it's an injection into this offense. And I remember talking to Keys in spring training about his 25 season in Vancouver. Didn't hit for a very high average, but a lot of home runs and a lot of on base. That was all good. He wanted to really control his move in the batter's box and get rid of the easy outs, the pop-ups and the ground outs. And it looks like what he has worked on is working.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the batter, he lined out to right center his first time up. And now there is the first sign of activity in the bullpen tonight. Spencer Miles is up. Just soft tossing at the moment. 2-0 on Guerrero. And he'll bang it through the right side for a base hit.
Fastball up in the zone, and Vladdy just shot it the other way, that wide open right side. He'll take the base hit any way he can get it right now. See those fingers along the seam. That ball comes back in a little bit, maybe jams him a hair.
So a 1-out single for Guerrero, and here comes Okamoto. A little bit more on Keys. John Schneider was asked, because clearly they have a third baseman. This is him. They have a first baseman, Guerrero. So Schneider was asked, is there any possibility of him playing somewhere else to try to force that bat into the lineup? George Springer is your regular DH. And Schneider said he did not think it would be fair to either Keys or to the team to try to put him in a position now in the big leagues that he's never played before. And that's perfectly reasonable, obviously. He said he thinks that would be more of an offseason thing. But then after a pause, he did say, but if a guy hits enough, you're going to find a place for him. Now, does that mean Springer plays a little outfield and Keys DHs, or Vladdy DHs and Keys plays first? And again, he's not even here yet. We don't know what the plan is. We don't know what the corresponding roster move is. We don't know any of that. So some of it may become clearer tomorrow, but it does appear as if Sean Keyes is joining the Blue Jays tomorrow.
But, you know, you have a left-handed bat like that. Maybe he DHs for George, giving George a day against a tough right-hander. Maybe it's a DH for Vladdy at first base. Vladdy DHs, George has a day, or Vladdy has a, whatever the case may be. If you've got a left-handed bat that's this intriguing, I think you have to find a way to kind of mix it in that way. And John Schneider said too, I mean, having a day here or there for George isn't a horrible thing either.
2-2 the count on Kaz Okamoto, who struck out in the second. And he strikes out again. Eovaldi gets him with a curveball for out number 2.
Boy, Nate Eovaldi can really mix and match and change speeds, and he is doing it very well here. And he really spins him a slow curveball here. It's the first one he saw in the at-bat after a bunch of splitters. Cotter, different look.
So with 2 outs, it'll be Dalton Varsho, who walked in the second. Nathan Eovaldi broke in as a 21-year-old with the Dodgers 15 years ago. Talk about a long career. You mentioned how he's won a couple of World Series, one with the Red Sox, one with the Rangers just 3 years ago. Just a good, solid pitcher for many, many years. 2-time All-Star. Just a guy who takes the ball, gets you pretty deep into the game, reliable, dependable. A little bit better than reliable, dependable. He's been a good starting pitcher for a long time.
And to still be doing this at 36 years old.
Yeah.
That's the most impressive part. We know what he was like when he was at his best. A lot of postseason moments. But still enough in the tank to be very effective.
People may remember a 6-inning relief appearance he had, I think, in Game 3 of the 2018 World Series. They lost the game. Yes. He was with the Red Sox.
But saved them.
But he saved the entire pitching
Absolutely.
staff with that game. He'll strike out Varsho. End of 4, 5-0 Texas. Signing season has every move covered. Don't miss it, starting Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 Pacific on Sportsnet. And what just about everybody suspected would happen did happen tonight. The Maple Leafs taking Gavin McKenna with the first overall pick in the draft this evening. This is Brandon Nimmo sending a fly ball down the left field line, and the catch is made by Jesus Sanchez on what third base umpire Roberto Ortiz ruled a fair ball. So an important play is, looks like he got a chin full of the padding down there in the left field corner, but he made the catch.
Well, there is not a lot of room beyond that line. You'll see he'll make the catch, and the wall is right there, and indeed chin first. At least it's padded, but he still felt it.
And that's going to be it. John Schneider left Corbett in to face the left-handed hitting Nimmo, but he will make the change now with Spencer Miles up in the bullpen. It'll be 4 1/3, 5 runs for Corbett tonight. Miles on his way in to face Berger.
Patrick Corbin out of the ballgame after 4 1/3 innings and 5 runs. And John Schneider said he really needed to end at bats when they should in order to go deep into ball games. Don't get into deep counts. Don't walk guys. Now Corbin did walk 1, but we saw some 3-2 counts. He said walks and long at bats, according to Schneider, they're going to come back and get you, whether it's over the course of a start, your next start, or how it affects the bullpen. So the fact that these guys are veterans, Dan, they need to make adjustments pretty quickly, and tonight just wasn't his night, guys.
Hazel, thank you. That's 15 earned runs in 14 2/3 innings for Corbin over his last 4 starts. Here is Spencer Miles into the game as Jake Berger fouls one off. So Miles kind of out of that bulk but quasi starter, just not starting role. They're shortening him up. They want to manage the innings. As everybody knows, he has barely pitched in recent years due to back surgery, Tommy John surgery. They love the arm. They love the whole package, the competitiveness. But there's only so many innings, Joe, they will let him throw this year. They want to make sure this is a healthy, long-term guy for them. So a couple of innings here, a couple of innings there, but not as many innings as he was piling up before.
Well, you have to love what you have seen from Spencer Miles in a Blue Jays uniform. Just major league debut this season as a Rule 5 draft pick. The whip is just over 1, and I always look at that, especially for guys coming out of the bullpen. Walks plus hits per innings pitched. Just not a lot of base runners. It's a major league average up over 1.2 in that neighborhood.
And he's got a 98-mile-an-hour sinker that he just threw for a called strike to Foscue, who has singled, homered, and driven in 3. And a bouncer to first. Guerrero's got it, and Miles gets a couple of quick outs here in the top of the 5th. It is 5-0 Texas going bottom 5, and time now for an update with Jamie Campbell. It's 2 days left to be eligible for all the prizes during the Jays Care Canada Day 50-50 jackpot. As you can see, it's closing in on $1 million already. There's also a cottage getaway in Muskoka, a trip on the Rocky Mountaineer, and more. Join now at bluejays.com/5050 from participating provinces. Bottom 5, Rangers 5, Blue Jays nothing. It'll be Ernie Clement, Jesus Sanchez, and Brandon Valenzuela. Clement with a fly ball to right his first time up. The Blue Jays with 1 hit through 4 innings. That was a single by Guerrero in the 4th. And a curveball for a strike. Not only does Eovaldi have a curveball that's got a lot of movement with it, he seems to be able to throw it in the strike zone, right at the bottom of the zone, almost every time he wants.
Those splitters and curveballs to the righties are right down there.
Clement lines it to center field. Langford goes back and makes the play. Out number 1.
That's the one you want to get, though, when he leaves that fastball on the plate. That's a sinker on the inner half, but that's a good pitch for Ernie to get to, and he just routine fly ball center.
And you could see just that little head shake from Ernie saying, oh man, like it's kind of easy to tell when Ernie thinks he missed a pitch, and you can see it right there. Here's Jesus Sanchez, who was called out on strikes in the 2nd.
I think Eovaldi needs to put that pitch comm in a little more convenient spot. It's like he's contorting his body all the way around to get to it to change the call.
Some guys have it on their glove.
Yep.
Little Velcro. And it's 0-2. And that was a splitter that he actually got up a little bit in the zone.
That's the one for me, I think, for Sanchez. I think a guy that handles the bottom of the zone pretty well. That's the one you want to hit. You see it up and just missed it.
He throws the splitter 37% of the time. Coming into the game tonight, he had recorded 48 strikeouts with his splitter this year, the most in Major League Baseball. This is golf to center. Langford another play. 2 down.
Discover the magic of BetMGM Casino. Check out a wide variety of table games with a live dealer, roulette, blackjack, and more. Download the BetMGM Ontario app. Please gamble responsibly.
Here on this Friday night, 2nd game of 4. The Blue Jays lost 6-5 last night. They're down 5-0 tonight. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now. 3 games under 500. Brandon Valenzuela steps in. And he hits it down the right field line. Will it stay fair? It will not.
That That's that splitter at the bottom of the zone. He got the bat head out, but just a little too far as he pulled it just right of the line. He did such a good job, Eovaldi, against Sanchez. That splitter that we were talking about, he came back with a fastball, but then he comes back with that slow curveball when I'm sure as a hitter, you're thinking more about the splitter, and this is what he has, those different weapons he can get you with.
Out in front 0-2. You know, and who knows where Texas will be, say, closer to the trade deadline. But say they fall out of it, this is exactly the kind of guy, like a proven veteran, very stable force in your rotation. A lot of teams would love to add a guy like this. Texas, of course, hoping they'll be in it, and they're in it right now because almost everybody is in it right now to a certain degree. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s got the only hit for the Blue Jays tonight, a single through the right side of the fourth. Blue Jays have to find a way here. They lost 2 out of 3 to Houston, lost the opener in this series tonight. These are teams right around them in the standings. Just off the outside corner, it's 2-2. Eovaldi confirming the count with Jim Wolf. A swing and a miss. 6 strikeouts through 5 scoreless innings for Nathan Eovaldi.
Z is for Zepbound. A is for asking. To begin conversation. Is Zepbound the right choice for you? Ask a doctor about Zepbound. Visit zepbound.ca for savings.
Back at Rogers Center, we go to the top of the 6th. 5-0 Rangers. Spencer Miles is back on the mound for the Blue Jays. He came in to get the last 2 batters, the final 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Got him quickly, too. Looks like it's going to be a warm weekend here in Toronto. Roof should be open, sunny skies. 5 runs, 7 hits for the Rangers. No runs. Again, just the 1 hit for the Blue Jays so far. And Miles to face Ezekiel Duran to begin the 6th inning. Duran is 1 for 2 and an RBI single in the first when the Rangers jumped out to a quick 3-0 lead. Valenzuela the appeal, but no swing.
Talk so often with Miles about that sinker at the top of the zone. I said that has to be by design sometimes. He says no, I'm trying to get it down. I said I don't know. It seems to be pretty successful up there too.
Again, Valenzuela wanted the appeal, not granted by Jim Wolf. It is 2-0. The umpire does not have to grant the appeal. Jim Wolf, by the way, we talked about him a little bit. People may remember a left-handed pitcher, pitched for the Phillies for a long time and for a number of other teams as well, Randy Wolf. So at the same time, Jim was already a big league umpire for many of the years that Randy was a pitcher. Randy Wolf pitched for 16 years in the big leagues. And from what I remember, Jim Wolf was allowed to be an umpire when Randy Wolf was pitching. He just wasn't allowed to be the home plate umpire, which is obviously understandable, but he could be out on the bases when his brother was pitching. It's the only brother combination I can remember, player and umpire.
Duran just getting a piece of that. That's a good velocity that we see from Miles. That was the 4-seam fastball. He's got both the 4-seamer and the sinker and 2 different breaking balls. Looks like Valenzuela wants a breaking ball out front.
Up the middle, it's a base hit. Well, you talk about hitting a pretty good pitcher's pitch. That ball was down and away by plenty, but Duran had the plate coverage.
Oh, he wanted it down and he got it down there. That's just a good piece of hitting. That happens at times. Executed the pitch where and the location he wanted.
Sometimes they hit the good pitches and sometimes they miss the mistakes.
Yeah, and that's just part of baseball right there. But Spencer has no problem with that. You try to get yourself ground ball now.
Kyle Higashioka. And a challenge from Valenzuela. It was called high. This one's going to be close. That's high. Still a ball.
Call is confirmed. Texas is out of challenge.
And the Blue Jays, yeah, Jim Wolf said Texas is out of challenges. It is the Blue Jays who are out of challenges. The Blue Jay catchers are near the bottom in terms of ABS success rate. I think they're about 48%, and league average for catchers is more up like 56, 57, I believe. I mean, you're talking in some cases about like an eighth of an inch or a 16th of an inch being the difference between a ball and a strike. Throw to first, and diving back in is Duran. But in the 6th inning, it's not the 3rd inning, but it's not the 9th inning either. In the 6th inning, you want to be really sure when you're down to your last challenge.
Well, especially when you're still down 5-0.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is one of your hitters to get rung up late here, and you're trying to mount a comeback.
Duran draws another throw. Guerrero doesn't have the baseball, but he finds it before Duran takes off.
Well, he was dancing over there. I thought Miles did a good job holding the ball and then spinning and firing, but they're going to have to keep him close. He is looking antsy, and he can run.
There he goes. A pitch out, it looked like. Throw down the tag. Still trying to find him, and safe is the call. Duran somehow managed to avoid the tag from Ernie Clement.
A couple of times.
Will the Blue Jays challenge?
Wow.
They will not.
Wow. Brandon Valenzuela threw a missile down to Clement. Misses the tag right there because he's out so far. And Duran avoids the glove and then avoids it again.
Let me give Duran a lot of credit.
Oh, yeah.
Ernie missed him there, went back at him, and then tried to move the left arm again. Is there something Clement could have done differently, or is that just an extraordinary play by Duran?
He was up pretty forward when he received the ball, but that's what they do now. I thought Duran did a great job diving back behind the second base bag to the center field side of the bag, and then you're just chasing the bag and trying to avoid the tag.
Here's a fly ball, not very deep at all in right. Lucas the catch, and Duran will stay at second.
Brandon Valenzuela put this right where you want to, and of course we know what his arm strength is like. But you see Ernie comes up. Normally you're applying the tag, but Duran went way back behind towards center field. But this is the interesting part. Missing the glove, missed him there, and then missed him there again. I thought he nicked him both of those times when we watched it initially.
Now play on its second, but back in standing up is Duran.
Brandon Valenzuela has not had a good success rate throwing out opposing base stealers, but my goodness, if you give him a chance, that was a pitch out.
Yeah.
But normally if you give a catcher a chance timing wise, he will throw at a lot of people. So for me, a lot of it's on the pitchers.
Well, a little news from around baseball tonight.
Batters challenging strike call.
Well, we got another challenge. Boy, we've had a lot of challenges in this game. Osuna is challenging. Texas only has one remaining, and that's a strike. So both teams are out of challenges now.
Call is confirmed.
The news comes out of Anaheim, where the Angels have fired their general manager, Perry Manassian, who used to be an executive in the Blue Jays organization. And they have appointed John Mozeliak, the former GM and then president of the St. Louis Cardinals, to serve as their interim GM. Mozeliak is going to oversee the day-to-day baseball operations while assisting the club in its search for a new general manager. Then just a couple of days ago, the Mets fired their manager, Carlos Mendoza. So Andy Green has taken over there as the interim manager, and of course it's the Mets who are the next team in here to Toronto. That'll start on Monday. Swing and a miss and a high fastball. Miles gets Osuna 2 down.
And there is that good fastball. He can be in that 97, 98 range. We've seen that from Miles, and he just let this one rip at the top of the zone.
First strikeout of the night for Miles, second out of the inning, and now here's Nicky Lopez. I think it's going to be quite a moment on Monday. There will obviously be a tribute video for Bo Bichette when he comes back. 7 years here and did so much for this team. Going to be interesting to I think to watch Bo as he watches the video up on the scoreboard, right? Because he keeps everything inside so often. I'm sure Guerrero will be glad to see Bichette.
Well, we got a chance to talk to Danny Jansen today. He talked about the video that he got when he was with the Red Sox. It's a pretty special thing when you come back to a place you played to see that appreciation for what you did with the club and for their fans.
Couple of strikes on Lopez as he somehow gets to that one and fouls it off. Danny Jansen on the IL right now for the Rangers, has a forearm injury, so he will not play in this series. Miles way out in front, 0-2. That is bounced just foul. That's what they call the front hip two-seamer to a lefty. You can see Valenzuela slide way inside. It's supposed to make Lopez think it's going to be in, but then it comes back over the inside corner at the last minute.
And Lopez was not going to let it go. How he pulled his hands in to get to this pitch. Almost a self-defense swing right here. Staying alive.
It's the kind of pitch that if you can execute it successfully, it's a great pitch. But as you know well, way better than me, there are a lot of pitchers who are a little bit unnerved by that pitch, because if it's too far in, it's going to hit the batter, and if it's not far in enough, it's going to leak back over the middle of the plate.
Yeah, Jose Barrios had that. When it's executed properly, great pitch, but when it comes back toward the middle, that's going right to the barrel of the left-handed batter.
Now Spencer's got 98 too, so he's not only got the confidence to get it in there, but he's got a little more margin for error because of the velocity.
Far different pitch, and not only the velocity, but the movement he gets on his sinker. It looks like he's got a little movement down and run. Quite a combination in the mid to upper 90s.
A look back and the 1-2. Got it. Nasty slider down and in for another strikeout, and it's on to the bottom of the 6th. Still 5-0 Rangers. Are you a Rogers customer? It's Canada's winning inning. When the Blue Jays get a hit this inning, you could win a VIP trip to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. That's coming up in Philadelphia. We know Ernie Clement's going to be there. As the leading vote getter in the American League, Clement has been guaranteed the starting spot at second base. A sellout crowd tonight, 41,689 here on a City Connect Friday night. Roof open, beautiful night. Can the Blue Jays find some offense? Andres Jimenez leads it off against Nathan Eovaldi. And lines it into right, a base hit, and maybe more. It'll get to the wall. He'll make the turn on his way to second, and in there with a double.
Jimenez going up looking for that fastball. He was all over it, and sometimes what you want to do is cheat to a fastball. And what I mean by cheat to it is if you think he's doing it, go ahead, start it early. He got Jimenez on a cutter up and away to strike him out first time up. He wasn't going to get beat that time.
Kind of quietly, he's hitting over 300 over his last 18 games. He's doing his job at the bottom of the order. And communication with Carlos Fabulous. The batter is George Springer, 0 for 2 on a couple of groundouts. And there again, Eovaldi, when he wants to flip a first pitch curveball in for a strike, it feels like he can do it with his eyes closed.
Yep.
He's always been a strike thrower.
Can be unpredictable in that regard. Not that he throws the variety of pitches, a lot of cutter, splitter, curveball that we thought we were going to see. He has used the sinker against these righties as well.
Another curve, and it's fouled back, 0-2. Been very efficient too, as you can see. Just 66 pitches. He has only walked 1. Gotten some quick outs. And he strikes out Springer on 3 pitches.
That's a good splitter at the bottom of the zone after a couple of slow breaking balls. It probably looked like a fastball to George, but then just fell straight down.
His 7th strikeout of the night. And now here's Nathan Lucas, 0 for 2. And Eovaldi out in front, 0-1. He checked it, and now Roberto Ortiz down to third degree since 1-1. Again, a lot of room between the third baseman and the shortstop. Now the third baseman can't get that far off the bag, or Jimenez could just steal it easily. So Young is close to the bag, and then the shortstop Duran is right up the middle. That hole right there as he lines it into left. Although no matter where they were, that would have cleared him and gotten into left. But that's kind of your classic Nathan Lucas hit right there.
Especially on fastballs up in the zone. Nathan can hit high velocity. He can handle the fastball up. Normally for singles, not going to be a lot of pop. He'll do more of his damage on the secondary pitches. But he shoots that one the other way with a very nice swing.
Nathan Lucas this year, Joe, is hitting .331 against righties. The only reason he's under 300, and he's not under by much, is because every now and again he gets to start against lefties, and he hasn't had much success there. But against righties, he's hitting .331 on the season. Here's Guerrero, who had a base hit his last time up. First and third, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Looked like Vladdy was taking all the way as he looks at a pitch outside. Ball 1. He has not budged. His feet have not moved since the moment he got in there before the first pitch. Swings through a curveball, 1-1.
It's a slow one from Eovaldi, and this is where he gets that. We talk about that push and pull. See Vladdy way out front.
Bat's gone before the ball gets there. Right? Grounder right to short, and this will be an easy double play for the Rangers. So at the end of 6, it is still Texas 5 and the Blue Jays nothing.
Make it up Friday with McCain, official French fry of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Welcome back to Rogers Friday Night Blue Jays baseball, presented by McCain. It's all Texas right now. The Blue Jays just had their best opportunity of the night. A leadoff double by Andres Jimenez, a one-out single by Nathan Lucas. But then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. got a splitter just above the knees and grounded it right to short for a fairly routine 6-4-3 double play. Spencer Miles is doing what has been asked of him. He has gotten 5 outs already and efficient enough, Joe, that there's nobody up in the bullpen. And again, he's somewhat stretched out. And John Schneider and Pete Walker want him to get, it looks like, at least 3 more outs.
At least 3 more, yeah. I thought maybe he would come on and get the 1 2/3, but it looks like they're going to try to squeeze another one out of him, which is great. Love to see Spencer out there. We talked about how they control his workload, and you can do that bringing a guy in out of the bullpen, but he has been fantastic.
Top of the order, Wyatt Langford, who's 3 for 3. And a broken bat, soft liner to short for the first out.
And this is what you can do when you have a power sinker. Spencer can just think about throwing this pitch right down the middle. So if you're a hitter, this is what you're seeing. It's in the middle when you're thinking about swinging. By the time you get the bat around, it's on the inside edge and you're picking up a few pieces of wood. Just a great pitch. Quick resolution to an AB.
And he throws another one to start off Josh Young, who fouls it off. Young 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Also was hit by a pitch back in the first and came around to score. Brother of Jace Young, who's had some time with the Detroit Tigers. Right now it's all sinkers for Miles. And yes, you can throw a high sinker. Those were sinkers. They're up above the zone. A sinker, also known as a two-seamer, it can sink or it can just kind of run in on a righty. It seems counterintuitive to hear or think or say a sinker up in the zone, but that's a real thing.
And you think about a hitter seeing a fastball up there. Normally they're straight, they're four-seamers with good carry, good ride, but this one's going to have some movement. So as a hitter, you're thinking of lining up your bat path to that flat fastball up there, and you think, all that kind of movement. Very tough one to square up. And that's why I think it's by design up there.
Down and away with a curve for ball 1. A big crowd here tonight, but not a lot for them to get enthusiastic about. The Blue Jays fell behind early, have only had 1 real opportunity, didn't cash in the 6th. Look at the movement on that one.
Years ago, the sinker was a pitch you used down in the zone, and a lot of right-handed pitchers I would catch are sinker slider guys. They're going to sink it down to try to get ground balls, sliders away. And now, though, with all of the information in the game and the data has shown, if you throw that sinker at the top of the zone, it can be very effective. And that's another way the game has changed over the years.
Strike 3 called. A four-seam fastball that looked like it was off the outside corner. But the Rangers don't have any challenges left, so that is out number 2.
You see where Valenzuela was set up. He wanted it more elevated, but it certainly looked away. But Miles and Valenzuela will both take it. Ooh, not just a little.
A lot away. And Young is going to get on an iPad, I would imagine, momentarily. But both teams out of challenges. Nothing either team can do on close pitches right now.
That one ran from one side of the plate to the other.
0-1 on Brandon Nimmo, who's 1 for 3, had an RBI double in the first. Adam Macko is back in the big leagues and up in the bullpen. Takes the roster spot of Simeon Woods Richardson, who was DFA'd today. Macko made 4 appearances with Buffalo after being optioned a couple of weeks ago. He was impressive his first time up with the Blue Jays. He made 12 appearances, threw strikes, and he did very well.
Debuted at Yankee Stadium and pitched a few games in that series.
Pitched 3 out of 4 in that series. And some of them were in some big spots too.
Now if you can pitch there in Yankee Stadium as you start your big league career, you're good to go.
How about 12 innings, 2 runs, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts. Fly ball to left. Sanchez still going back, makes the catch. Paid the price. And not yet up, out in left field, as he makes the play before banging into the wall for the 3rd out. Varsho over to check on him, and the way he's walking, maybe an ankle or something like that. The relievers looking on, and Sanchez in some discomfort. One more look going to break as Sanchez manages to make the play on the track just before banging into the fence. 7th inning stretch here at Rogers Center. Jesus Sanchez just moments ago making his way off the field. Jose Menestral, John Schneider out to check on him. It looked like an ankle. We'll get another look here. I believe the right ankle. Oh, there. Yeah, that's a roll of the ankle. Everybody watching has done that, doing something. He's due up 4th here in the bottom of the 7th, so we'll see if he is able to continue or if John Schneider has to put somebody else into the game. "5-0 Rangers."
Hi, everyone.
And it'll be Kazuma Okamoto to lead it off against Nathan Eovaldi. A couple of strikeouts for Okamoto tonight. And now a base hit into center field to get things started.
There's a first pitch splitter at the bottom of the zone. Okamoto sees him up a little bit. Lines it right up into center field.
We talked about it before the game. The 2 finalists to start at third base, as it looks like Davis Schneider has gotten word you are coming into the game. The 2 finalists to start at third base in the All-Star game for the American League are Kaz Okamoto and Junior Caminero of Tampa Bay. Here's Dalton Varsho. Caminero hit 3 home runs last night and has another tonight. So he's got 20 on the season. Okamoto's got 18. Caminero's got a statistical edge in most categories, but Okamoto, as everybody knows, has been very hot. Varsho rips it foul. Okamoto is first among American League third basemen in RBIs, second in home runs to Caminero. But it's going to be a vote. It's a fan vote to decide who the starter will be. And you'd have to think between Canada and Japan
Let's go, Ken.
that Okamoto has a clear advantage over Caminero. Varsho has popped it up. Back of second. Duran, the shortstop, to make the play. 1 down. Activity in the Rangers pen for the first time. One of 3 lefties down there. Robbie Alstrom is up.
Nathan Eovaldi trying to go 7+ innings for the 8th time this season in his 16th start.
A pitch inside, ball 1 to Ernie Clement.
That's a combination of stuff and a combination of efficiency as well. In the zone a lot, doesn't walk a lot of people.
Well, just a few days ago, it looked like the Blue Jays offense had really turned a corner. And they're still hitting some home runs. But then the last game of the Houston series, they scored just 1. They got 5 last night, but they were down 6-0. 2 of them came in the bottom of the 9th. Held off the scoreboard so far here tonight. The combination of not hitting a lot and the starting pitching not being as good as it has been, and so now you're facing deficits. And when you're not hitting and you're down, you're probably putting more pressure on yourself to get it all back, and you're trying too hard, squeezing that bat a little tight. And
once it became 5-0 tonight, did it not feel like it was 9-0? And that's just the way it is when the offense isn't necessarily clicking. And it's been a struggle most of this first half of the season.
Grounded up the middle. That'll get through for Clement. Up to second goes Okamoto.
Eovaldi didn't like the sinker that he threw up in the zone, but Ernie was all over it. Not quite the movement we saw from Spencer Miles on his sinker.
So for the second inning in a row, the Blue Jays have something going here. The big ovation you hear is for Davis Schneider, who is indeed going to pinch hit for Jesus Sanchez, now officially out of the game after rolling that right ankle, making the catch backpedaling into the wall.
Well, Higashioka is going to talk to Eovaldi about Schneider right here, because here we are in this situation in the game, and kind of like what happened last night, one swing of the bat and the Blue Jays are right back in this thing here as they slowly run out of time. Schneider's going to try to get one of those splitters that stays up a bit.
Schneider started last night's game 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Okamoto at second, Clement at first with 1 out. Bullpen active for the Rangers. First pitch is a splitter down that he fouls off. 0-1.
That's a pretty good one from Eovaldi, and I think that, again, Davis, when you start your swing at that pitch, it looks really good. By the time it gets there, it's below the zone. It's not a great pitch to hit, and that's why you pound the top of the baseball. Have to see it up a little higher than that, more belt high.
Fastball away. And now Skip Schumacher has made a change. Now that the Blue Jays are threatening a little bit, he's thinking a little bit differently. He's got a right-hander, Peyton Gray, up, a guy who is higher up in terms of leverage in that Texas pen than the lefty Alstrom, who was up before. Curveball taken low. Ball 2.
Well, you can see the take even there from Davis, how that slow curveball really keeps hitters off balance. Even if that's a strike, I don't think he's hitting it.
Fouled it off. 2-2.
Easier said than done, right, to make that splitter be up. You can have a game plan going in, and I'm sure that was part of it for the hitters today in their meeting against Eovaldi, but tough when he's executing.
Well, and also pinch hitting at a moment's notice after Sanchez gets hurt. You're not expecting it. I don't know if he's purposely using one batting glove or he just was rushed and couldn't find the one for the right hand. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's kind of old school.
Grab a bat, get in there. You're in the game. Strike 3 called. A splitter that kind of stayed up, but caught the strike zone for out number 2.
It's a pitch that you give up on because it comes out high. Right away, you're giving up right now, and then it just kind of settles into that top inside corner.
8 strikeouts now for Eovaldi, and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th as now Brandon Valenzuela will come up. Valenzuela has flied out to center and struck out. That one will run way inside. It's 2-0. A couple of big misses for Eovaldi, who's always around the plate.
Yeah, some of his cutters cut a lot more than others, and I would imagine it is by design a little bit, trying to get inside on Valenzuela, not wanting it to go that far.
Right back to the curveball again. Most guys, when they need to get back in the count, back in the zone, they'll throw the fastball. Nathan Eovaldi's not most guys.
Yeah, when a pitcher can do that, and we used to call it pitching backwards because it's a fastball count, but there aren't any fastball counts anymore in baseball, and that's another reason why hitting has become so difficult around the league.
going to take just off the outside corner. 3-1. Okamoto still at second. Clement at first. 2 down in the inning. And it's full now on Valenzuela.
And then he backdoors that cutter. Starts it away. You give up on it as a hitter. Boy, he has some of his better stuff tonight that we've seen from Eovaldi.
Runners will be on the move. And the 3-2 pitch struck him out. Right back to the curveball to finish it off. 2 more men left on at the end of 7. It's 5-0 Rangers still, and time now for a Blue Jays Central update with Jamie Campbell and Madison Shipman. Years ago, the Blue Jays went back-to-back, and now the championship rings can be yours to wear. On Saturday, July 18th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a set of 92 and 93 World Series replica rings. Get tickets now at BlueJays.com/tickets. Another part of a great promotional calendar here in the 50th season of Blue Jays baseball. Still 5-0. Opportunities in the 6th and 7th. Really the only 2 innings where they got anything going. Couldn't cash in. And now here is Adam Macko back with the Blue Jays after being down in Buffalo for a couple of weeks. Made 4 appearances down there. You see the very good numbers he put up in 12 games with the Blue Jays. Davis Schneider remains in the game and left. I think Adam Macko being back benefits John Schneider, gives him a second lefty. And it benefits the first lefty.
Yeah.
Mason Fluharty, who's the busiest man in the sport, has made more appearances than anybody in baseball this year.
Macko's off to a nice start in his big league career. In his 12 games, 2 runs on 11 hits, but just 2 walks against 12 strikeouts in his 12 innings of work.
In there with a fastball, 2-1.
A lot of 4-seam fastball and slider from Macko. He'll mix in a changeup, curveball to the righties.
Still has remnants of the arsenal from being a starting pitcher. Still has all 4. Doesn't use them equally, but still has all 4. Swing and a miss. 2-2. 95 there for Macko. Berger struck out in the first, walked and scored in the 3rd, and grounded out in the 5th. Texas got 3 in the first and 2 in the 3rd tonight. They were up 5-0 early. Ooh. Up and in, 3-2.
Like the approach, though. Like the approach coming in. I said earlier with Berger, you probably want to stay away from a dangerous hitter, but with Macko's fastball, it's a good idea.
On the appeal, no swing. It's ball 4, and we check in with Hazel.
Dan, when Adam Macko was told he was being optioned, Pete Walker encouraged him to work on using his curveball in the zone more when he's down in Buffalo. So he changed the grip on the curve a little bit, and now it feels more comfortable for him to do just that. So we'll see how much of the curve with the new grip he uses in this appearance. Dan.
Hazel, thank you. Always something to work on, whether you're a rookie or have been at this for 15 years. Macko told me at some point during his first stint with the Blue Jays that the focus in Buffalo, and I imagine this is the case throughout the organization, is strikes. What are you working on? Strikes. What do I need to do more of? Strikes. Like everything else comes off of that. Get the ball in the zone, be the aggressor, be the attacker. You get out in front 0-2, now you can throw a strike to ball breaking ball or a changeup down and away or something like that. But Macko is very focused on trying to get ahead of hitters.
And not that he can't do it, but based on what you're saying right there, that's why I was surprised at a 3-2 slider to Berger. He had thrown some good fastballs, tried to come in once. I'd say just try it again.
0-2 to Foscue. And right back at him with a fastball here.
And that fastball's playing. You can tell the way the hitters are reacting. And it's not that you're not going to use your slider, but you're coming out of the bullpen, you're just back in the big league, and you're going to throw your first slider in that critical count. I always tried to stay away from those scenarios.
Bit of a loopy curveball there that slipped out of his hands and winds up high ball 1. Right back to the heater, and again 95. Foscue fouls it off.
And a defensive swing. You can see that swing, and that's coming from Foscue, who we said has really had success against left-handed pitching this year, and he did tonight against Patrick Corbin.
Got him. A swing and a miss by Foscue for out number 1.
Get game-changing internet and Canada's most reliable internet. Rogers Xfinity. We got you.
One down as Adam Macko went to a changeup to strike out Foscue, and now the batter is Ezekiel Duran, who's 2 for 3 with a couple of base hits tonight.
Definitely got some weapons to use. Macko's fun to watch because he's very unpredictable.
One thing he told me about the 4-pitch mix, he said, you know, I don't have what he considers to be a wipeout slider like this guy or that guy. He started naming some of his teammates. He said, I don't think I can be just a fastball slider guy.
Sure.
I need the curveball and the changeup. Again, it doesn't have to be an even split between the 4. That one will bounce away from Valenzuela. That changeup in the dirt, a wild pitch to allow Berger to go to second. But he feels having all 4 is a big piece of the puzzle for him.
Well, that's a good pitch right here. This way, got the strikeout with the changeup, but as a catcher, Valenzuela's got to make sure he's ready to block that pitch. We've seen Alejandro Kirk at times go out toward that baseball, but you can't keep the glove back. If you slide it forward and go with the flat glove, you're cutting the distance. You might be able to stop that ball. Got cut in between.
Jammed him, and it's 2-2. Nathan Eovaldi very good tonight and made some very good pitches in the 6th and 7th inning with a couple of men on. A long look back at Berger, and the 2-2 is fouled off, and Brandon Valenzuela is holding his left thumb.
This reminds us all of what happened to Alejandro Kirk.
He's not looking in towards his own dugout.
No.
That is good news.
So he's got a thumb guard on. You saw him just put it back on right here. But what'll happen here is it catches the thumb part of your glove right there straight on. And that's why he took his glove off and felt it. A lot of catchers will wear it. It's almost like a little bit of a splinter, a cast on your thumb to prevent it from going backwards. Catcher's terminology is that they got thumbed. And we know Alejandro Kirk still working on that thing. We saw Voon Chung in the dugout with him last night, but constantly trying to make sure that's right. Never know, he might be preparing himself for an at-bat if he might be getting in this game. But catchers get that all the time. I always felt with left-handed pitchers too. It kind of handcuffs you in there.
Ground ball to short. Jimenez has to get it over there in a hurry, and he does just in time to get Duran. 2 down as Berger remains at second.
Little grimace there from Jimenez. He knows that the hop right there, he kind of had to wait for that last hop, but in waiting for it, he had to really hurry with the throw. Just enough arm strength to get him.
Right, a guy obviously who played second base the vast majority of the time in recent years, although played a lot of short coming up and early on in his big league career. Here's Kyle Higashioka, the catcher, who's 0 for 3. Ten years in the big leagues, the first 7 of them with the Yankees. Had a couple of big games, I remember. I think back in the COVID days, had a couple of big games against the Blue Jays. And now Alstrom is back up after Eovaldi got out of that situation in the 7th. Skip Schumacher's got the lefty up for the second time.
Higashioka's got some sneaky pop too. He's more of a part-time player, but he's hit double-digit home runs 4 times. So you do have to be careful with him.
very high in the air down the left field line, but it'll be foul. I found the game I was thinking of. September 16th, 2020. The Blue Jays were at Yankee Stadium, and Higashioka hit 3 home runs in that game.
Wow.
Full count here with a runner at second, 2 down. And inside, ball 4. So uncharacteristically of Mako, who only walked 2 in 12 innings. His first time around with the Blue Jays, he's walked 2 here in the game tonight, and that's got Pete Walker back on the phone. Now a lefty-lefty matchup with Alejandro Osuna, who is 0 for 3. Shows bunt. Interesting.
Yeah.
2 outs, runner at second. Base hit drives him in, bunt doesn't. And it's not like Okamoto is way deep. He's, as you can see, where he is right there. But that didn't feel like it was just for show.
No, and you're the 8th hitter. You're going to try to bunt for a single and bring your 9-hitter to the plate. Strange time.
Braden Fisher. And a strike, 2-1. Fisher has had 2 days off. Some of the others, including say someone like Tommy Nance, have only had 1 day off. Foul it off, 2-2. Shane Bieber made a start for the Blue Jays back 3 days ago. Did not get out of the 4th inning and shaved his mustache.
Whoa, new look.
I don't know if there's any reason or correlation between the first start, and we can ask him tomorrow, but he will be back out there to make another start on Sunday in the final game of this series. It's going to be Dylan Cease tomorrow. The Rangers haven't announced yet who is starting the next couple of games. Here's a fly ball. And Varsho's there, so the 2 walks are stranded. Afternoon game for the Blue Jays tomorrow, but more baseball available tomorrow night. It'll be the Dodgers and the Padres, one of the better rivalries in the sport. Coverage begins at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific time on Sportsnet. Still 5-0. Bottom 8. And Skip Schumacher's gone to his bullpen now after 7 very good innings from Nathan Eovaldi. He's brought a lefty in, a rookie, Robbie Alstrom.
Rangers selected his contract on June the 1st in 9 outings this season. Just 1 run in 9 1/3 innings. 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. Left-hander with a high arm angle in the mid-90s and several different pitches: slider, sinker, change, and curveball.
He will face Andres Jimenez, George Springer, and Nathan Lucas. Jimenez 1 for 2, doubled his last time up, but was stranded at 3rd. And he's going to get a base hit out of this. That's a hit 'em where they ain't right there.
Sinker running in on your hands off the plate, but he just gets it by Young at third base. Not sure how the bat didn't break, but he'll take it. Coming in to guard against the bunt. That's the benefit. Sometimes you're allowed to shoot it past the third baseman.
Now Springer, who is 0 for 3 on a couple of ground outs and a strikeout. George thought that one was low, but again, both teams, in fact, are out of challenges and have been for a couple of innings. Pulled foul. Way out in front of that curve, and it's 0-2. Miles Straw is on deck to hit for Lucas. Everybody trying to keep the faith, trying to stay positive, hoping this team can find its offense sooner rather than later. One in 3 so far on this 10-game homestand. Springer fights it off.
That's about all you can do with that pitch. Good job just to get a piece of it right on the edge at 96.
Couple of shakes by Alstrom. Now has the pitch he's looking for. And again, the 1-2. Check swing. It's up and away. Ball 2. Jacob Junis is now up. He is generally the setup man for the Rangers. He worked a scoreless 8th inning in last night's game. Set down 3 in order. Outside, it's full.
Definitely trying to stay away from him. That is first certain. We've seen more and more teams doing that. George handling the ball middle in much better. Fastballs and changeups out there.
Jimenez the lead. And the 3-2, and that's ball 4. So 2 on with nobody out. And that'll bring up Miles Straw, who hit a 2-run double in last night's game. Went 1 for 2 on the night. Higashioka is going to buy a little time for Junis. He is heading out to the mound. And the pitching coach, Jordan Teagues, will join in on the conversation. The Blue Jays hoping to do some damage against the bullpen. Joe, they were not able to scratch out a run against Nathan Eovaldi.
Well, it seemed like we were talking early on that he's not throwing the fastball as much, the four-seamer, using the splitter a lot more. It wasn't necessarily the case, but he used it enough, especially against those right-handed batters, and that really seemed to throw them off. We saw a lot of those swings on those splitters at the bottom of the zone, but he really mixed and matched all night and kept Blue Jays hitter. When you've got some decent stuff and you're facing a team that's struggling offensively, it's a perfect recipe, and Eovaldi took full advantage.
First and second, nobody out for Straw, with Guerrero on deck and Okamoto behind him. And Junis continuing to get loose out of the bullpen. Up and away, ball 1. One thing we never see, or rarely see, from Straw is jumpy in these kinds of situations. He is willing to take a strike, maybe 2, willing to try to work a walk, wait for a pitch in the zone he can handle. And he is looking for the ball on the inner half to do what he did last night. Get it in the air, pull it down the left field line.
And he got one right there where he was looking. Executed perfectly.
Okamoto now getting some information, probably on Junis, who is getting loose. Up and away, ball 2. I give the crowd credit. They are doing a good job keeping their energy up here in a game in which their team has not scored any runs. This is fouled off right side and will find the seats 2-2. That was inner half, but a little bit up, and Straw just could not get on top of it.
Well, last night was a little bit of a too little, too late scenario, but you got to give yourself a shot. You got a couple on here. Still 3 outs to play with in the 9th inning. Got to get on the board first, but Miles Straw got things rolling last night.
Alstrom sets. And now the 2-2. And he fights it off. On deck is Guerrero. A line out in the first, a base hit in the 4th, a 6-4-3 double play ball in the 6th.
Pitch is still kind of staying middle away. Miles waiting for that miss middle in.
Again, the 2-2. This is popped in the air down the first base line, and it's caught by the right fielder Nimmo for the first down. And looks like that's going to be all for Alstrom. Here comes Skip Schumacher, and with Guerrero and Okamoto due up and a couple of men on, he wants one of his high leverage right-handers, and that's going to be Jacob Junis coming into the game in the 8th inning for the 2nd night in a row. Third inning in a row, the Blue Jays have 2 men on base, could not score in the 6th or 7th. Here is Jacob Junis into the game for the 2nd night in a row.
Junis in his 10th big league season, pitched a scoreless inning last night, got the Blue Jays in order 1-2-3, did not face Guerrero or Okamoto. He has 5 saves, but that whip is under 1. He doesn't walk many, doesn't strike many out. Not overpowering, a lot of sinkers and changeups to these righties. Mixing in that sweeper as well.
So here's Guerrero, 1 for 3. Hit into the double play his last time up on a splitter from Evaldi, 6-4-3. Jimenez is at second. Springer is at first with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. And that gets by him all the way to the backstop. I thought for a moment it might have hit him, but it didn't. He's not dropping the batter going down to first, but there was an unbelievable amount of run on that pitch, and the wild pitch advances the runners.
The sinker just kept going in there. Higashioka gives up on it instead of taking his eyes to his glove.
So that takes the double play out of the equation. The infield is back for the Rangers. They'll give up a run to get it out. Now 2-0 on Guerrero. The set by Junis, and he looks at a fastball that got a lot of the plate on a 2-0 pitch. 2-1. Does that say to you he's in between? Or is that just he took a pitch?
I think that's a confidence thing right there.
Yeah.
You got to be looking for a cookie right there. Make this a ball game like that. Like that's the type of swing you want to see. 2-0.
Now 2-2. We have seen at bats where he takes the good ones, and then sometimes the chase rate is up and he goes after pitches outside of the zone. Just clearly not himself. Popped up, foul, and out of play over the first base dugout.
I'm almost thinking if you're sitting on a pitch from Junis, it's probably going to be the breaking ball, the sweeper. Throws it a lot to right-handed hitters, but there's a lot going on right now with a struggling hitter. You've got lots of things in your head. You might be thinking about mechanics in the batter's box.
And he lines it into right center, a base hit. Jimenez in to score. Here comes Springer. It's a 2-run single for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Well, that keeps the crowd going on a little bit here at the Rogers Center. Vladdy tees off on this fastball. It's on the inner part of the plate, but really just stays inside, shooting this hard into right field. cashing in the Blue Jays' first couple of runs.
It is 5-2, and here's Kaz Okamoto. Struck out his first 2 times up, then had a base hit in the 7th. Crowd getting a little livelier. Kind of a late swing decision there on that breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
But I like the way when Kaz, the way he loads up, he can really load up, and it allows him to see the ball a little longer, and he can make this decision. Yes, it's late, but he saw that breaking right into the strike zone.
Up and away. The 2-run home run in the 9th inning last night got the Blue Jays back within 1. It's a 1-run game. What a month he is having. Home run number 19, up to 53 runs driven in right now, and the Blue Jays with 4 on the board here in the bottom of the 8th.
It was the sweeper. That's the pitch I thought maybe Vladdy would be looking for. You talked about Okamoto's swing there earlier in the count. Yes, it was a little late, but he was picking up that spin, and did he ever pick up the spin that time?
I mean, you've got to go back, I don't know, 6-7 weeks. Remember the slump he was in. I mean, he had about as rough of a couple of weeks as a guy can have at the big league level, and since then he has been unbelievably productive.
You cannot miss middle in at all with that breaking pitch to Okamoto. And this would stayed on the inner third of the plate down in the zone, and he can cover that one for fun.
So all of a sudden it's a 1-run game. Dalton Varsho is the batter. The count 1-2. Stays alive. Jimenez got it started with a base hit. Springer walked. Straw flied out. Guerrero a 2-run single. Okamoto a 2-run homer. Gray is up in the Texas pen. Oh, a nasty pitch there from Junis to get Varsho 2 down. Changeup just diving down and away on Dalton. Over in the Blue Jays bullpen, Louis Varland has emerged. Now that the Blue Jays have gotten back within a run, here's Ernie Clement, 1 for 3. And a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Listen to this. To right center field and down for a base hit. And here comes Alejandro Kirk, who is going to pinch hit for Davis Schneider.
Schneider, number 30, Alejandro Kirk.
These ovations for these Blue Jays players are outstanding here at the Rogers Center. The Ernie chant had started. Ernie responds with a base hit. And then we see Alejandro Kirk.
You see it in the All-Star balloting. You feel it in the ballpark.
Absolutely.
The passion of this fan base. And I know you and I and everybody who works on the games, we feel like we're incredibly lucky that there are this many people who love this baseball team to this extent. It makes our jobs more fun. And believe me, you saw Ernie talking about it yesterday, thanking people from coast to coast. This is a unique partnership.
Absolutely.
Tying run at first with 2 outs in the 8th, and Kirk pinch hitting for Schneider. And Junis will start him with a strike. Kirk has not really looked like himself at the plate in recent games. Maybe still trying to shake a little bit of the rust off. Maybe the thumb's still a bit of an issue. Ironically, his first game back was his best game. 3 for 3 with a walk. The 1-1. And he takes a breaking ball in for a strike. 1 and 2. Just could not pull the trigger on the sweeper.
The base hit that he had last night was an elevated fastball, and it looked like a much more controlled swing. Really flattened the bat path at the top. Really buckling on that breaking ball.
Junis eyes Clement over at first. 1-2 on the way, and he takes it outside. Ball 2. Now the 2-2, and he got him to go around. Another sweeper down and away. He gets Kirk. That'll end the inning. But the Blue Jays put 4 up on the board. Louis Varland is coming in because this game is close, and it's close because Kazuma Okamoto did it again. It's 5-4 Rangers going top 9. Another home run for Kaz Okamoto. And Joe, maybe he got a little bit of information in the dugout before he went up that helped him in that at-bat.
All of the information to what to anticipate with Jacob Junis on the mound. We know that he throws the sweeper a lot. There's Gosuke Kato talking about it with his interpreter, and that motion that he made is a sideways motion. That's a sweeping motion. So he'll use that sweeper a lot. He used the sweeper, but it backed up. It stayed on the inner part of the plate, and he is all over. But don't doubt Okamoto, with the information provided, was sitting all over that pitch that entire at-bat.
And all that pinch hitting has necessitated all kinds of defensive changes for the Blue Jays as well. But they did what they had to do, got the guys up to the plate they wanted up there. They've gotten it within 1, and Louis Varland's going to try to keep it that way.
Louis pitched once in that Astros series, pitched a scoreless inning, but he is on to keep this a 1-run game right now to give his team a chance for the late comeback.
The hitter is Nicky Lopez, who takes a fastball down and away for ball 1. It'll be Lopez, then top of the order, Langford and Young here in the top of the 9th. That ball smoked up the middle, a solid base hit for Lopez. First appearance for Varland since Monday. He has had 3 days off. Here's Wyatt Langford. And a fly ball right center. It'll be Varsho to make the catch. 1 down. We mentioned lots of defensive changes. Straw stays in the game in right. Kirk stays in to catch. Urias is now at second. And Ernie Clement has gone out to left field. When Davis Schneider left for a pinch hitter and Sanchez was injured earlier in the game, they don't have any more natural outfielders. The last time Ernie played in the outfield was for 2 innings back in 2024.
Ernie can play anywhere.
Ernie can play anywhere. He's been the emergency catcher for like 3 years.
Don't want to have to use that card.
I think Ernie actually played an inning or 2 in left field in the WBC, if I'm not mistaken, for Team USA, but he is obviously an infielder. Young with a fly ball to right. Over comes Straw. And that's the second out. Well, you got to embrace the chaos, and the relievers are saying, what are you doing out here?
He's got to go out and say hello to the boys. He can't do
great.
that from the infield.
That's great.
Does Ernie love this game or what?
That's great. 2 down. Here's Nimmo. Change up off the corner, ball 1. And again, ball 2. With Jacob Latz up in the Rangers pen, he worked the 9th inning last night, gave up a couple of runs on the home run to Okamoto, did pick up the save, his 15th. Out of play left side, 2-1.
Blue Jays are getting to this Rangers bullpen. They've just had trouble with the starters these first 2 games of the series.
That's kind of been a pattern for them this year. They've got way better numbers against relievers than starters, late in game, early in game, who knows why, but playing catch up a lot. Runner at first, 2 down, and the 2-1 pitch. Chop foul, 2-2. George Springer is due up third, bottom of the 9th, getting a little bit of information about Jacob Latz. He did not face Latz in last night's game. 2-2 pitch. To the bottom of the 9th, the Blue Jays coming up trailing by a run. Bottom of the 9th inning, it is 5-4 Rangers over the Blue Jays. And it's going to be Brandon Valenzuela, Andres Jimenez, and George Springer to face Jacob Latz.
Latz pitched in last night's game. He did secure his 15th save of the season, but it was not easy. Kaz Okamoto got up for a 2-run homer. Blue Jays got to both Junis and Latz last night. Well, not Junis, but tonight they get to Junis. Now they've got to get to their closer.
So we aired in the top half of the inning when we told you Kirk had come in to catch. Urias went into the 7 spot. He took the spot of Kirk. Valenzuela remained in the game behind the plate. That's why he is in there now, leading off here in the bottom of the 9th. And he'll look at a strike. So it'll be Valenzuela, Jimenez, and Springer. If it gets further than that, it's Straw and then Guerrero.
And the bench is empty.
The bench is empty. Fouled it back, 0-2. Changes for the Rangers. Jared Kelnick is in the game and left. Osuna has moved to right, and Elias Diaz is behind the plate. Up high, ball 1. Now the Blue Jays could not get anything going until the 8th inning. and then they scored 4 times. A 2-run single by Guerrero and a 2-run homer by Okamoto, but they're still down by 1. This is hit down the left field line, but hooking foul.
Curveball coming in to Valenzuela. Just got a little friend. Now, Vladdy's giving some information to George here on Jacob Latz because Vladdy faced him last night. George did not.
That was the 11-pitch at bat
in the 9th
where
inning.
Latz eventually struck out Guerrero. Yep. So nobody has seen more of Jacob Latz than Guerrero. We saw 11 pitches last night. Guerrero coming out, due up 5th. Springer coming up 3rd. And who called time? Oh, we have a pitch clock violation on the pitcher. So it's ball 2. An automatic ball assessed on the count. 2-2 now. Up and away. Didn't miss by all that much, but it missed by enough, and it's ball 3. Jimenez has had a good night. He's got a couple of hits. Valenzuela trying to get on. Get it started. 3-2. Outside, ball 4. All right, Joe, you've got left on left. You've got Jimenez, the batter. Are you swinging away, or are you bunting to get the tying run to second?
I'm bunting to get the tying run to second.
Because of who he is in the lefty-lefty matchup?
Lefty-lefty matchup. It's a tough one. I think Jimenez is very adept at bunting, and I think he's got to stick his nose right in there. That's what you have to do against lefties. Not like that. When I say stick your nose in there, it's to prevent what we just saw right there. It's that jabbing at the ball. Because you're still a little bit upright. Watch the bat go jabby, and you can't be doing. He's backing up as he's bunting. You need to stick your nose right in there and be right over the plate and hold that ball, that bat more still.
He's got 2 sacrifices this season. He squares again, and he pops it back foul again. 0-2. Now do you take it off?
Yeah. Just not good attempts. Once again, backing up. He's falling out of the batter's box and jabbing. And again, I say stick your nose in there. That was a term we use so much, especially coming up through the minor leagues, because you have to think that way as a hitter. If you don't, you'll be on your heels like that.
Third baseman is still in. Young is still way in for the Rangers. Boy, if things are really going well, then Jimenez is going to shoot one by him the other way because Young won't have the reaction time necessary. Jimenez is exactly the kind of guy who you would think would be almost automatic at sticking his nose in.
Yeah, you'd think he would. Throwing that bat out there, laying it across the top of the zone.
He just saw Young moving at third as he bounces another one foul. So before that pitch, the Rangers changed their alignment. Young has moved way off the line. You can see where he is right now. Now Texas is convinced Jimenez will not try to bunt. So they're playing him in an area where they think he is more likely to hit it. A lot of room up that third base line. 0-2, and it's popped up. And Young will come into foul territory and make the catch, and Jimenez cannot advance that runner. Now George Springer. 0 for 3 with a walk tonight, and again, as we mentioned, did not face Latz last night. Was getting information in the dugout about Latz from Guerrero. George 0 for his last 12. This would be a very good time to snap that. That is just low. Ball 1. Keep in mind, neither team has any ABS challenges. A very short lead at first by Valenzuela. And the 1-0 is hit way up in the air to left field. Kelnick coming over towards the line and makes the catch. had just enough room. He was in foul territory, but made the catch for the second out.
George got a fastball just above the top of the zone. He put a great swing on this, but it was just hard to do anything but put it straight up in the air. That ball was up there a long time.
Boy, second night in a row, the Blue Jays fall behind early, find a way to get right back into it. Fell 1 run short last night and in jeopardy of doing the same thing here tonight. Miles Straw is going to try to keep it going. And he's popped it up. Berger, the first baseman, has room in foul territory, and the Blue Jays will lose by a single run to the Rangers for the second night in a row, and will lose their 4th consecutive game overall. Second night, similar pattern, Joe, right? Fall behind, find a way to get back into it late, but come up short.
It is so tough to comprehend that they can't get to these starting pitchers. They come on late, but it's a little bit too little too late with the way that the starting pitchers have gone the last couple of days, and they are going to need a good starting pitching performance sooner or later to keep them in the game. And this offense is going to have to find a way to get to a starting pitcher.
They have lost 4 in a row. They are 4 games under the 500 mark. They've got Dylan Cease on the mound tomorrow, and it'll come your way beginning with Blue Jays Central at 2:30 Eastern time. First pitch at 3:07. Again, the final, the Rangers 5 and the Blue Jays 4. Time now for Sportsnet Central, brought to you by KFC. Once again, Ken and Ivanka.